CNN has learned that for the first time in almost 2 decades, the National Rifle Association is attempting to coordinate the recall of a state legislator. He's being punished, as it goes, for passing gun restriction legislation in his state. The target is the president of the Colorado State Senate, John Morse. Now, this mailer that CNN obtained from the NRA Political Victory Fund was sent out to someone who is a, quote, Second Amendment supporter. It says, your state senator, John Morse, led the charge to pass extreme and onerous anti-gun legislation in Denver earlier this year. Responsible gun owners and sportsmen will be forever burdened by his misguided leadership in the Colorado Senate. It then asks the recipient to go on a website to find out how to sign a local petition asking to recall State Senator Morse in a special election. The law they're referring to requires background checks for all gun transfers and a ban on 15-round magazine clips. The NRA lobby's apparent message is vote for gun laws and we will drop cash to get you out of office. State Senator John Morse joins me now from Denver. We did invite somebody from the NRA to come, but they declined our invitation. State Senator Morse, thanks for joining us. I know that you knew you were being targeted by local gun groups. Did you have any idea you were being targeted by the NRA?
Well, in the very beginning, no. I mean, it was a grassroots effort for a little while, but when that didn't take at all, it was clear they were getting money from outside, and I wasn't the least bit surprised that the NRA was behind it.
Now, you also are getting money from outside, right? I mean, this is becoming almost what we saw in the recall. It's the early stages. I shouldn't overstate it, yes, yet. But it could become what we saw with the recall the attempted recall of Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker. Big interests from out of state coming in to fight a local battle. In this instance, it would be Mike Bloomberg and Gabby Giffords and their pro-gun restriction group facing off against the NRA. Is that possible, do you think?
I do think that's possible. I mean, certainly we've thought about this from the very beginning as this is outside groups coming to Colorado and running Colorado's gun laws, but really nothing could be further from the truth. You have to remember that Colorado is ground zero for some of the worst gun tragedies that have occurred in our nation's history, with Columbine and then again Aurora. And we also, unfortunately, in Colorado have a history of doing very little about it. I mean, after the Columbine shooting, nothing was done. The people had to go to the ballot in 2000, a year later, to get gun show background checks into the law, which at that point the Republicans controlled everything and wouldn't put in. And then this time, Aurora happened last summer, and obviously then Newtown happened in December, and so obviously we addressed it this session, but this is what we get for that response. But the reality is we've got to do a lot for gun safety in this country, and from my perspective, obviously, it starts in Colorado, both because I'm in Colorado as well as we're ground zero for these horrific tragedies.
Do you think that the NRA and the other gun groups are going to be able to get the signatures they need? Do you think there will be a recall election of you?
Well, as they say, you know, everything is for sale, and for a price you can get anything. And so, again, they had 60 days to collect the signatures, and in the first third of that time, they were doing horribly with just a quote-unquote grassroots effort. But once you move in with money, I mean, you can buy what you need to buy, and so I suspect they'll end up with signatures, and then the Secretary of State will be looking to make sure that they got the quality that they needed to, and then I will also have the opportunity to make sure they got the quality of those signatures that they need, and so we could definitely be on the ballot. I don't think there's any question that that could happen.
All right, the President of the Colorado State Senate, John Morse, thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.